Tubers, family and friends. Well, you're looking at it right there. That's my battery pack that I built from scratch. 280 amp hour batteries, 16 of them. And that's a lithium phosphate, ion phosphate batteries, that Pro Pull 4 batteries. They've been around for, I don't know, probably 5 years now, I think, or around there where they've been available. Maybe it's been a little bit longer, but it's my first opportunity to mess with them, and I don't have it online, but I'm getting a lot closer. I got them in a compressed contraption that I made that he recommend that you keep them compressed. So I got all thread, 6 rods, 4 on the outside and 2 in the center of 16 batteries. They're all listed right there. And then this is my BMS, of course, I've been showing you guys, and I've been getting the wiring done here. This is the negative side, and this is the positive. I got it run through a 200 amp fuse. Then also the breaker. So I got lots of safeties in the system. And then from here, I'm going to run this 35 millimeter heavy wire from the breaker over to the inverter. I'll do that tomorrow. And I need to test with my multimeter here each pin of all these wires, just to double check. I'm sure I got it right, but I'm going to double check with my meter every single pin, make sure it's the right voltage before I plug it into the back of the BMS. And this BMS, I didn't know it, and you know, I screwed up. The first time I screwed up, I ordered the wrong BMS. I ordered an 8-pin instead of a 16-pin. 8-pin is for a 24 volt 8 battery system, and the 16-pin is for a 48 volt 16 battery system. And that's what I needed. So finally I got the right pin, BMS, but this is the dumb BMS and not the smart BMS. So I can't hook this BMS. You know, it won't take Wi-Fi transfer to the app, and I can't do the settings and watch it, you know, on my app, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it's not that big a deal. Because this system is all monitored by the inverter anyways, right? So that controls all the, you know, voltages, the voltage going to the batteries and everything, and this BMS should do fine. But if I have problems with it, I'll have to order another one, it's like 8,500 pesos, like $150, something like that. Maybe $160, which, you know, that's a lot for me in my budget situation I got right now. So I'm gonna try to make sure this one works, and hopefully it does, and we'll just go from there. It's all I can do at this point. But I got my electrician coming in, Glenn. He's the guy I've used for almost everything. Well, the solar installation was done by 3 other techs with the vendor that sold me all the die inverters and stuff, and set up all my panels and everything, and brought in all the wiring supplies and everything. So but Glenn's he's done all the electric on every single thing else in my entire property here. All my buildings, it's 5 different buildings. So he's really good. I've really rarely ever had a problem with him. So I got the panel off of this here breaker, and I installed the 3-way, and so these 2 reds here coming off of this breaker is generator. So this will be transferred. We'll bust a hole through the side here of this panel and move these two reds up into this three-way switch on the bottom, and that'll be genset. So instead of, this is my Zenico, right, from the grid that I'm on right now. So you open this breaker, we'll turn it off, slide this over, and then when you close this breaker, these two wires go to the genset, and then I can run my generator and then supply myself with power with my generator. But now the new system is, once I switch to this breaker, it'll be going to, I'm going to put two new wires from the top of this breaker through here and out here straight into the side of this three-way, right? So this will be then a choice. Either up is battery bank, or down will be the genset. So it'll be, you know, a two-way alternate power system. So I'm almost done. ran the conduit and the wire to this, and I'm gonna have Glenn just land that. And then the only other wire I have to run after I run this 35 millimeter for the batteries off of this breaker and into the bottom of the inverter, the only other wires I got to run is two going through this mini breaker, which will be grid power into the inverter. So that will be run from a connection down in here over to this breaker. I'm going to let Glenn do all that because that's hot and I'm not going to mess with it. And then over to this mini breaker, 63 amp meter or breaker, 63 amp breaker. And then from there into the AC in terminals in the inverter here, the battery inverter. That way I can use the grid to charge through the inverter, charge my batteries. And then the only other two connections I don't have is right here in the bottom of the far right at the bottom of the inverter for cable from solar panels, so I can use solar panels to charge my batteries. But I'm not going to do that right now. The main thing is just to get so I can run off batteries and knock down my grid usage. So we'll see how it goes. So I've been busy doing that, and amongst other things, you know, trying to get as self-sufficient as possible, guys. That's the key. That's why I'm in the Philippines and living way the heck out in the jungle. And God told me to come here 10 years ago. I'm still here. A lot of people give up before 10 years. It's tough for some people because they can't keep their relationships together, or they can't keep, you know, either their marriage or relationships together for so many reasons. But the main reason is Satan in the world is so heavy right now. It's unbelievable. I know probably a dozen expats right now in the Philippines that have lost their Filipina, or the relationship broke up for whatever reason. Everybody's got a different situation, but most of them are based around money. The Filipina wants more and more money, and if she sees an avenue that she can go, like a lot of these Filipinas that married or girlfriends to foreigners started their own YouTube channels, and if they have a YouTube channel that's starting to be successful and they have an different avenue of gaining a lot of money, they go for it. So, you know, it's sad. It's really sad that how money just sways everyone, not everyone, but 90+% of the population of the world to do, you know, to go against God's word, to go against anything that's right in the eyes of God and go for the money, and that's it, right? And that's how this whole looking at the whole world right now, right? We're on the edge of nuclear holocaust, nuclear exchange, World War III, and the latest thing is Syria, the country of Syria falling and Damascus falling, right? And that's all from huge payouts, bribes, basically, to the armed forces officers, and it got the ranks down to where they were all bought off, right? And when it came time that the enemy, which is U.S. and U.K. backed ISIS militia, they call them rebels, which is basically they're mercenaries bought and paid for by the CIA and the Pentagon of the U.S. And that's what's going on, guys. I mean, what money can't buy, strong arm tactics will. So basically, that's why that's a whole nother reason, and a massive big reason why Russia, out of desperation, really, they can't fight a rigged system with the world currency being the U.S. dollar. The Federal Reserve and the government of the U.S. being able to print as much money with nothing stopping them, as much as they possibly want, and transfer untold amounts of digital U.S. dollars into bank accounts in Switzerland, in Cayman Islands, wherever, secret bank accounts that these government officials from other countries or military officials or officers or whatever, right? This CIA and the Pentagon together, along with MI6 and Mossad from Israel. I mean, they're all in it. That's the Babylon, right? That's Mystery Babylon in the world. That whole triad. So they pretty much can do what they want until China, North Korea, and Russia says that's enough and just pushes the nuclear button. And basically, it looks like that's what they're going to have to do if they want to stop this Western CIA, deep state-run government of the U.S., because that's all they care about is world conquest, seems like, right? They just print the funny money, and while the people, the U.S. citizens at home are suffering big time because the economy's in shambles, and it's a big bribery payoff, demonic, satanic machine. That's the whole gist of it. What's going on, guys? And I don't know. I mean, people can just turn their backs, look away, and just say, "Oh well, I got my little world here, and my money's coming in okay. I don't really care about what the rest of the world's doing, and I don't care what my country's doing." And they just turn a blind eye to all that stuff, and it doesn't even bother them. But I ain't built that way. That's why I could see this slow train wreck coming from years ago. In the 90s, I started seeing it. And eventually I said, you know what? This thing, who knows how much longer it can last before the whole thing just blows up. So once God told me after my second wife died of cancer, go to the Philippines, Todd, get away from this evil worldly system, and try to get out of it. And that's the key, guys. If you're a homesteader at all in whatever country, it don't matter. You need to get out of the system, the government and banking system. Get out of it as much as you can. Become self-sufficient in as much as you can, and protect yourself and try to raise a family like they used to in the old days before the government bought everyone off. And that's what these governments are doing. They'll, in one way or the other, they're bribing you, paying you off, or hiring you, right, to control you. They hire you. That's why the governments are so huge, because they have so many people working for them. More than half the country of most of these countries in the West now are government workers. Same thing with the Philippines. Really, the only other than some good construction jobs here and there that the Filipinos can work on if they have a skill, right? If they can get themselves a skill, they can make a fairly good living in the Philippines. But all the rich ones, they're all working for the government or working for a big company or getting government contracts, right? Government contractors. Those are the ones that they're on the dole. They're on the free government teat or whatever you want to call it, right? They're sucking up all the easy money. And even around here, you can see it with all the road construction and stuff in the Philippines. These Filipinos that are rich are the ones that got these government contracts for road work. So they buy all these cement mixers and big trucks and big excavators and big heavy equipment and stuff. And the government pays on that, pays huge money. Equipment rental, everybody knows equipment rental is what gets you rich if you can get government contracts. My first wife, her father was a multimillionaire, and why? Because he got some government contracts for road work, and he owned a sand and gravel and ready mix business back in the States. Once he got those government contracts, instant millionaire. And that's the way it works, guys. That's how you get rich, is get these people that get in and do what they, bribe or get in good with relatives that are in the government or however that works. You know how it all works. Yep, and that's how they're raking in the money. But, they got to give up all kinds of stuff because there's so much corruption. It's the payoffs and, it's crazy terrible out there, guys. So I suggest you get yourself right with God and just do the best you can. That's all you can do. Like I say, there's no divorce in the Philippines. That's another reason why God told me to come to the Philippines, because my first wife divorced me. And, even the relationships over here anymore, the Filipinas are becoming so westernized, getting addicted to YouTube and the internet and stuff, and they're finding easy money, and some of them have, half a dozen or a dozen boyfriends that are sending them money online, and it's terrible now, guys. It's hard. The further you get away, if you still want a chance of getting a good relationship and a good woman and a good Filipino wife, get as far away from the beaten path as you possibly can. Stay away from the cities. Go way out in the province. I mean way, way out. As far as you possibly can, and get away from it, and you might have a good chance then. But anymore, everyone's got a phone in their hand. So anyways, I gotta let you go. I got animals to feed, and it's late in the day already, and our weather has been pretty bad because it's rainy season. So I'll show you one other thing I did. I got the pool drained now. You guys, I showed you the other day maybe. Yeah, I got it all drained, and I got some repair work to do on some of the tile, and all the grout is completely gone out of all the tile. I'm gonna contract with someone to get some tile back in the grout back in the tiles. And I found a new grout, a waterproof grout. It's not epoxy, but it's a waterproof grout that's antibacterial, so the green stuff won't hang on it and all that. So we're going to try that this time because it's a whole lot cheaper than the epoxy. The epoxy is crazy expensive. So anyways, I'm going to let you guys go. Oh, we get a little bit of sun here coming out. That's the most sun I've seen all day. And that's the thing in the rainy season, is it's sun, rain, sun. It can't make up its mind what it wants to do, but it mostly wants to rain. So I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'm gonna finish up this tomorrow, the wiring, and then Saturday like I say, Glenn, my electrician's coming in to do the final terminal landings in the boxes and in inverter, and then we're gonna put this puppy online. So I love you guys, and take care, and talk to you later. Bye bye.